Candace had a military plane fly over her home. And not only did this happen to Candace, this also happened to Baron Coleman. They both live in Nashville. All right. So everybody in the chat say, I stand with Candace. We have to support this woman. We have to support Baron. Something crazy is happening. Share this video because we had like 600-700 people in here and everybody got kicked out, including me. So let's go. Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button, hit the like button. I'm going to start with this video first, and we're going to go to the other video.
Huachuca. Remember Axel 10, the plane that did the crazy deep dips on September 10th? John Cullen posted about it on X.
So I'm going to play this video right here because I want you guys to understand the significance of this particular plane and how the plane swooped down to get intel and went back up, and how the same type of plane, it wasn't the same plane, but the same type of plane did this to Candace Owens and Baron Coleman yesterday while Baron Coleman was live. So I'm going to play this video right here. This is from September 10th, but I'm going to show you how this situation happened again yesterday.
Fort Huachuca. Remember Axel 10, the plane that did the crazy deep dips on September 10th? John Cullen posted about it on X. I did a deep dive and showed exactly where the plane was in relation to Charlie's tent at UVU. Well, I'm about to explain what the same plane has to do with Fort Huachuca. Credit goes to Jason Goodman, who posted this article on X.
Share this video, share this video, share this video.
Showing this exact plane on the tarmac at Fort Huachuca. And to be clear, we will be talking about a coincidence, not a conclusion. Candace Owens discussed a theory involving claims by Mitch Snow that Brian Harpole and Erika Kirk were allegedly seen at Fort Huachuca on September 8th and 9th. That claim is part of a larger conspiracy. I am not here to confirm it. I'm here to add aviation context. On September 10th, the day of Charlie's murder, a specific aircraft tail number flew a profile that included extremely deep dips to just over 200 feet above ground level, not just once, but twice, before and after the murder. Importantly, this aircraft has performed similar dips around the country, not just on September 10th.
This same type of plane with a different tail number, but the same type of plane, it's a Hayes plane, did the same thing yesterday over Nashville.
Why does it matter? This is not a random jet. This plane, using call sign Axel 10 on the day, is reported to be a trainer and test aircraft associated with the U.
So the plane that just went over in Nashville over Candace Owens' home, that plane was Axel 21. Okay. So the plane that flew over Provo was Axel 10. But this plane that flew over Candace Owens' house is Axel 21.
U.S. Army's intelligence programs, including systems aligned with Hades. These platforms are designed to listen, collect, and relay data over vast distances. These dips are consistent with data collection, calibration, or transmission exercises, and I'm using that word deliberately because there's nothing to indicate a formal operational mission was being flown. So you're starting to see the coincidence here. The same aircraft from September 10th is documented operating at Fort Huachuca, the Army's intelligence center of excellence, and the base at the center of speculations based on Mitch Snow's claims. This does not prove any involvement in any crime, but does it possibly warrant some scrutiny?
So now let's play the other video pertaining to what just happened.
Candace cousins, come to the front, come.
Okay, so this video is a little, is not as loud, okay? So turn your volume up a little bit, but watch this.
We need to talk. Specifically, I need our prayer warriors. We need the prayer warriors.
And this young lady's name is Sammy Sam, and Sam with 2 M's on TikTok. I want to give credit to her because she's the one that broke this story.
Is to come front and center right now. Y'all need to join, and we need to touch and agree, and we all need to pray for Candace and Baron Coleman tonight. This is for real, for real. This is crazy. So,
and look right here, Sunshine says, dude, I thought you were being paranoid until my high-speed internet locked up and kicked me out of your live repeatedly. For those who don't know, I was just live and I had to come back live because over 20, 30 people were saying, hey, I just got kicked out of your live. I just got kicked out of your live. And then all of a sudden, I got kicked out of my own live. So it's like all of our internet services like just went haywire because we're talking about these surveillance planes, or YouTube did it. I'm not sure. But that video is still up, so I'm not exactly sure what happened. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Oh, I'm a Fed. How I'm a Fed, and YouTube is hating on me.
Baron Coleman had got a message in the middle of his live stream tonight about Candace Owens being in danger. Now, going back to what we first saw this sign or this incident, over on X, there was a person on X who lives in Nashville, Tennessee area, and he said that he was watching the Candace Owens show, and as he was watching the show, he noticed Axel 10, which is a smaller version of one of those Axel planes that's been coming up in this investigation, flying really low. And he said he lived close to Candace, so he noticed the plane flying really low, so he started recording it. This is him recording the plane at that immediate time. This is
now remember, the plane is flying extremely low. That's the reason why I played the video earlier of the woman saying how the plane on September 10th went like this to collect information, and then it went back up. So this is what these surveillance planes apparently do. And just so you know, HADES is a HADES plane. That's what she's about to talk about. HADES. And HADES stands for High Accuracy Detection and Exploitation System. And this is a U.S. Army program that is a manned intelligence surveillance plane for reconnaissance. Okay. So the plane that flew over Candace Owens' house is a reconnaissance plane. Why is it dipping down about 200 yards, like right over her house? Like, what is going on?
He started recording the plane. So he is saying, like, what the hell? This is while Candace Owens was on air also. Okay? This is the plane. This is a government military luxury plane, whatever.
Oh my gosh. There is no shot. This is Axel 21. Hold on. This is Axel 21. It's not Axel 10. That is actually insane. Oh, I wish I had a DSLR. Fuck. No way.
So after he made this post on X, he made this physical post with the video, and this is the post that he made when he was tagging Anna Escobar and people who have direct access, immediate access to the flight logs, and he wanted them to hop in and see if we can get immediate flight records as to who is on this flight, because that's very unusual, especially right while Candace Owens is live streaming. This is Baron Coleman and his response when he got the news in the middle of his live stream.
I just got a very concerning message on my. I'm alarmed. Don't tell me
And this is a little low, so make sure to turn your volume up.
not to be alarmed. I'm alarmed. I've never been more alarmed in my. Well, I have, but I'm alarmed. You can't write that in the middle of a show and tell me not to be alarmed. Ladies and gentlemen, I've committed no crime. No, I'm just kidding. I'm happy. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm happy. I love my family. I have plans for the future. I got some great plans coming up the end of August.
He's trying to let his audience know in code that if something happens to him, he did not do it himself. because you already know every time anybody gets unalived, and I'm sad to have this kind of conversation, and I'm sad that like Baron feels the need to actually have to say this, but Baron is saying this because every time somebody is unalived, they always turn around and try to say, they did it to themselves, you know, they unalived themselves. So he feels the need to say this, like, hey, I'm very happy, I have plans, everything's great, I'm not sad, I'm not, you know, that word, the S word. This is scary, y'all. This is scary. Share this video, y'all. Share this video. We had like 600-700 people in here last time.
Into September. I got a lot of stuff going on, guys. Just want to be on the record. I'm not even going to get into what Candace showed tonight. I was going to, but I'm not going to. I may get into it another night.
Damn.
So that's when Baron Coleman first got the information and was first told about this. That's how he reacted or whatever. Now, this is how and when he confirmed what that information was, and this is what he had to say about it.
Yeah, somebody said, do we know the message Baron got? She's about to show it now.
Y'all, this is crazy. There's no way people should be in this type of danger or fear or even possibilities of being in danger for something like this as a journalist or a podcaster in this country. This is so crazy to me. But here's Baron Coleman's response when someone super chatted him about that information.
People on X reporting Haiti's spy plane just flew over Candace and Baron's Furman Files post. Yeah, that was the disturbing message I got. You guys wondered what that was. Did I just catch a Haiti spy plane flying over Candace during her show? I noticed a luxury jet flying abnormally low, pulled up flight radar that just happened to be a Hades aircraft. Not making any claims, but stay frosty.
And remember, Hades stands for High Accuracy Detection and Exploitation System.
Yeah, that's crazy. Looks like it was in Nashville. I'm gonna look it up. I know what the tail number is. I'm looking it up as we speak.
Damn.
Oh. Then it went to Killeen, Texas. Yeah, it sure did fly over her house, or close. So it flew in on the 18th at 6:51 p.m. last night, and it flew out today at that was today, 6:51 p.m. and it flew out at 7:08. Is that right? Yeah. I mean, it didn't go right. I don't want to give too much away. It didn't go right over anyone's house. Certainly not mine. Nor hers.
But in a second, he's going to say it did. Watch what he's about to say now.
But it was close. Too close for comfort, I'll tell you that. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, that is crazy talk there. It flew right over my house.
See? It flew right over his house.
On the way into town. I mean, a couple of miles maybe at most. While I was on the air.
While he was on the air. This is scary.
Y'all, I didn't send those text messages. I don't know what they sent, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. That's crazy. Thank you.
Y'all, this shit is just so crazy. Like, this is freaking crazy. I'm about to go back over here on X real quick and see what's coming up this. See if they got any information. As soon as I get something, I'll bring it back to y'all. Bye.
So, a military reconnaissance plane flew over Candace's house and Baron's house, And going back to what this woman is saying here, right here.
Article on X shows this exact plane on the tarmac at Fort Huachuca. And to be clear, we will be talking about a coincidence, not a conclusion. Candace Owens discussed a theory involving claims by Mitch Snow that Brian Harpole and Erika Kirk were allegedly seen at Fort Huachuca on September 8th and 9th. That claim is part of a larger conspiracy. I am not here to confirm it. I'm here to add aviation context. On September 10th, the day of Charlie's murder, a specific aircraft tail number flew a profile that included extremely deep dips to just over 200 feet above ground level, not just once, but twice, before and after the murder. Importantly,
Hold on. Is the video not showing? Hold on, y'all. Okay. Sorry about that.
involving claims by Mitch Snow that Brian Harpole and Erika Kirk were allegedly seen at Fort Huachuca on September 8th and 9th. That claim is part of a larger conspiracy. I am not here to confirm it. I'm here to add aviation context. On September 10th, the day of Charlie's murder, a specific aircraft tail number flew a profile that included extremely deep dips to just over 200 feet above ground level, not just once, but twice, before and after the murder.
So right there, that is what I wanted to show you right here. These deep dips, 200 feet above ground level. This is how they accomplish their reconnaissance. Whatever it is that they're trying to survey, they have to make these dips, and the person caught the person red-handed, or caught the plane red-handed, after it was doing this dip flying like 200 feet above ground level.
And after the murder. Importantly, this aircraft has performed similar dips around the country, not just on September 10th. Why does it matter? This is not a random jet. This plane, using call sign Axel 10 on the day, is reported to be a trainer and test aircraft associated with the U.S. Army's intelligence programs, including systems aligned with Hades. These platforms are designed to listen, collect, and relay data over vast distances. These dips are consistent with data collection, calibration, or transmission exercises, and I'm using that word deliberately because there's nothing to indicate a formal operational mission was being flown.
Okay, so this next video is going to be a little loud. So just know this next video is going to be a little loud. So turn your volume down just a little bit. I don't know why this video is so loud, but it's loud.
The plane. There's the plane. A month
14.
later.
He has always wanted to be at the center of some of.
There it is. SUBTT. That's the plane that Candace identified.
So shout out to Jimmy Dore.
Bombshell. The same Egyptian presidential plane Candace Owens flagged in Provo the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Guess where that was just spotted? It was sitting on the tarmac next to Air Force One.
Next to Air Force One. How are you able to sit on the tarmac next to Air Force One?
In Sharm el Sheikh on October 13th.
Mm-hmm.
On October 13th, 2025, during a Gaza Peace Summit, Fox News Live coverage shows Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi motorcade pulling up as Air Force One lands. Mm-hmm. Right there on the tarmac, SUBTT. That's the serial number of the plane. This is the exact tail number Candace exposed. Let's recap the receipts already dropped. SUBTT, the yellow Egyptian Falcon, landed in Provo on September 4th, 2025, 6 days before Charlie was killed. It carried a group of Egyptian military contractors.
Mm-hmm.
Those contractors deplaned in Provo. The plane then left for Wilmington, Delaware on the morning of September 10th with only 4 people on board. The contractors were gone. Those same contractors got rental cars from Duncan Aviation at the Provo FBO. Candace was mocked for the time zone mistakes. She was told it was just maintenance. Now we have live Fox News footage from the Egyptian presidential summit showing SUBTT plane parked next to Air Force One while El-Sisi greets Trump. This is not a random charter. This is Egyptian presidential fleet. So why was a plane from the Egyptian presidential fleet sitting in Provo, Utah, the week Charlie was assassinated, dropping military contractors who then vanished into rental cars from Duncan Aviation?
And the obvious reason why this scares all of us is because Charlie Kirk is dead. So it's like they killed one of us already. And when you look at these planes flying around, it's kind of like they're at it again. Because this is what happened back in September. In the same type of plane, Axle 21 versus Axle 10 is now flying around in Nashville, Tennessee, over the two biggest content creators that are talking about this Charlie Kirk case, Baron Coleman and Candace Owens. This is getting scary. And I said in the last stream, but in this stream, everybody in the chat say, I stand with Candace and I stand with Baron. Because this whole situation is really getting scary. And we all, no matter who we are, we have to start paying attention to not just our normal surroundings, but what's above us also. Planes flying over our houses and stuff. This is getting scary.
The official narrative still wants you to believe this is all coinky-dink and Charlie Kirk was assassinated by a lone wolf. So let's watch this. So here we go. So there it is. So this is it. Watch this. So turn it up.
This is the Egyptian president, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. I went over to Egypt. I interviewed him early after he took over in June of 20.
There's the plane. There's the plane. A month later.
He has always wanted to be at the center of some of.
There it is. SUBTT. That's the plane that Candace identified.
The Middle East discussions of how things go forward. So this is a big moment for Egypt as well, to be able to host this Gaza Accord and all of these world leaders as they look for the future. And to Martha's point, I think that's a great point about Russia and China. Him early after he took over in June of 2014.
There it is.
He has always wanted to be at the center of some of the Middle East discussions.
And I want to say this. I was just talking to somebody about my channel. I remember when I had all the momentum. I had all the live viewers. I was getting all the views, right? I started getting scared because it started becoming apparent that Turning Point USA started suing content creators. First, it was Wolves of Wall Street, Wolves of Finance, that's what it was. And then Brian Harpool started suing Candace Owens. And then there was another person that was in Utah that was threatening to sue me, right? I'm not going to say who was, but I actually started getting afraid. So I started posting less. So I kind of like fell out of the algorithm a little bit. And I say that to say this. When you get into this game and you start speaking on these sensitive topics and you start getting all the views, all the support, in some situations, especially like with Candace Owens, you turn around and get all of the threats. And then the threats can turn around and affect your home life, your family life, right? So if anybody is thinking about doing this type of content, just understand the people that you're talking about, they're watching your content. So you have to be ready for the negativity that comes with all the views and all the positivity and all the money and all the super chats, all the whatever, because planes are flying over people's houses that are at the top of the pyramid when it comes to content or this type of content. So it's like, do you really want to be on the top? Because when you're on the top, you're the biggest target. Because, of course, Charlie Kirk was on top. And you see what happened to him. So you just got to be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Because I'm scared for Candace and Baron, but is at the same time, do I want to be where Candace is at? Do I want to be where Baron is at? Yeah, because to a certain degree, I want all the smoke. But you have to be careful of what you wish for, because if you want all the notoriety, you're going to get all of the negativity also.
Of how things go forward. So this is a big moment for Egypt as well, to be able to host this.
So I reported that on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination, an Egyptian Air Force plane took off from Provo, Utah airport. I reported that, even more curiously, that Egyptian military plane had previously only ever been to the United States twice in that past year. And both times it was in the weeks leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay, here is that plane. The tail number you can see here is SUBTT. And this is a screenshot again from flight radar. Now, of course, when I pointed out that this foreign military plane arrived on September 4th, so 6 days before, into Provo, Utah, and departed 6 days later on September 10th, they ignored the huge substance of this, which is, why is this Egyptian military plane here in the middle of Utah? Instead, they said, oh, she made a time zone mistake, like as if I'm on flight radar every day, accustomed to reading the data here. Yeah, I thought that I was looking at mountain time, like a local time on flight radar. As Mark just explains, no, they do it according to universal time. Okay, big deal. Like, actually, big deal. Anyways, I was going through the DCIA tips box, our decentralized intelligence agency tips box, and I found a very interesting email. I'm very careful here to make sure I don't give this person away, but it was someone from a foreign country. They wrote us claiming to have intimate knowledge regarding the flight. And you can take what I'm about to tell you to the bank, okay?
All right, y'all listen to this.
In fact, you can even take this as a direct challenge to Kash Patel to dispute what I'm going to say. And I feel that I have been presented with absolute solid proof from this individual who is in proximity to one of the individuals that was aboard this flight, okay? I can now report to you that it is a fact that on 9/4, there were, this was not some dropping by in Utah as they were trying to claim, because the plane needed to be serviced.
Serviced in Provo, Utah.
They ran with, this could have been a routine servicing. I guess there's just no place from Egypt all the way to Utah that an Egyptian military plane can, like, get a tire changed. This is totally routine, nothing to see here. Well, I'm telling you that for a fact, that plane was carrying military subcontractors. And for a fact, they were dropped off in Provo, okay? And that they did not make it back to Cairo. I showed you the plane left. They left on September 10th. It then laid over in Wilmington, Delaware, and departed back for Cairo on the 11th. I am telling you that when that plane left, okay, those people were mysteriously missing from that plane, okay? What's going on here? Why are Egyptian military subcontractors, what are Egyptian military subcontractors doing in the middle of Provo, Utah on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated? You should be concerned. And I'm going to give more cause for concern, okay? Because as you guys will recall, 2 Egyptian planes, got it. For the sake of ease, we've labeled one blue. That's SUBND, which was the one that was transponding on the ground at Duncan Aviation on the day of Charlie's assassination, but it did not go anywhere. And then, of course, our now infamous yellow plane that carried on to Wilmington, Delaware that morning, and has seemingly panicked the world, right? I'm reminding you that that flight from Provo to Delaware on the yellow plane had only 4 people on board. Okay, so that plane pretty much emptied out and then had only 4 people, one of which was a foreign dignitary. Now, one of those individuals I can confirm was using the name. And when I say using the name, we are dealing with governments, we are dealing with power, and these people just print passports, okay? These are obviously dead ends. But the name that one of those individuals was using is Walid Mahmoud, okay? Walid Mahmoud. So we now know that of the 4 people that flew to Delaware, someone flew using the name Walid Mahmoud, okay? Here is where it's going to get interesting. I don't know if we can show that name, Chris, if we have that, but we can spell it out for that. I don't know if we have a graphic for that. But here's where it gets interesting, okay? Walid Mahmoud had been in Provo before, okay? Specifically, Walid Mahmoud came to Provo on May 27th of this year. Walid Mahmoud came in, and we can also confirm that if you look up the plane that he was on, there is no transponder data which reflects that trip. He was not on the yellow plane. This is what's very interesting. He was aboard another Egyptian military plane, and the tail number for that plane is SUBTU. We're going to make that the purple plane, okay? Purple plane was not there on the Charlie assassination, but we now have a person that was on that purple plane at the end of May, and then he is going to be on that plane again on the day of Charlie assassination, both times in Provo. And we can drop that now into our timeline, okay? May 27th, SUBTU flies into Provo with Walid Mahmoud aboard. Maybe it's a pilot, I don't know. Then we've got, it departs on June 2nd and is not transponding, okay?
See, a lot of people got mad at Candace, thought Candace was making up stuff. The purple plane, the yellow plane, all this other stuff. She was on top of all of this a long time ago.
You cannot find a record of this on flight radar. Now, why is this compelling? Why is this especially compelling? Because the purple plane, SUBTU, as has been recently discovered by the work of other people, was once upon a time flown with the president of Egypt aboard. And by once upon a time, I mean back in 2023. This tweet came from Project Constitution. I'm going to read it in its entirety, okay? confirmed. Candace Owens just got vindicated again. The Egyptian government website confirms that Egyptian President El-Sisi flew on SUBTU. Remember when Candace Owens dropped that bombshell exposing that Egyptian presidential plane as the mystery bird tied to those shadowy flights? And just, he's confusing BTT. He's talking about BTU. We were always talking about BTT. Well, official receipts just landed straight from the Egyptian presidency website that on April 3rd, 2023, President El-Sisi touched down in Riyadh aboard that same exact aircraft, tail number SUBTU, for a high-level sit-down with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, okay? So BTU. And again, he's mixing it up with BTT, but we can now connect these two planes. Now, before you jump to conclusions and go, does this solve this? Does this mean that this was the Egyptian president on board? No, we can actually officially rule out that it was President El-Sisi that was aboard the jet on September 10th because he was photographed at a meeting with the Prime Minister of Tunisia, Sarah Zafrani, and it was in Egypt. We can also rule him out as having been the individual that was in Provo back in May because he was, again, photographed multiple times throughout that week in Egypt, okay? What we can, however, deduce is that Walid Mahmoud is therefore not the president of Egypt, but he is almost certainly well acquainted with the president of Egypt because planes that fly presidents around, military planes, you're not going to just, let just some random healthy Egyptian aboard your jet, right? This person is going to be well acquainted with the president of Egypt, okay?
I am in no way saying that Egypt had anything to do with this. We're just having a discussion. And for anybody that is just coming in here, it has been understood, and this is verified, that a plane, a surveillance plane, a reconnaissance plane, a military plane was just seen, yesterday, flying over not just Candace's house, but Baron Coleman's house. And this whole situation is getting extremely scary. I'm going to do more research on this, and I'm going to come back with more information because this is somewhat breaking news. They just seen this yesterday, and Baron was on live, and he started tracking the plane or whatever. So I'm going to come back with more information, but I got kicked off the last live stream. I decided to come in again to let y'all know that I see y'all and I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. And before you guys leave, make sure to hit the like button, hit the hype button, share this video. And if you have not, buy my mother-daughter card game, and I will talk to you guys later. I just wanted to bring you guys this breaking information.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other. These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when